So, sir, you are welcome. And this is the second episode of our discussion on the Osun State
Okay,
election 2026. We target Osun conversations.
okay,
And today, I
okay,
want to quickly introduce our guest today. Our guest that I'm
okay,
introducing to us today is an accountant by profession, and he has been, you know, in and out of politics, active and inactive for more than 35 years, and in Osun State, and he's a guru in that kind of area. He has been, he's an academician who even in the field of accountancy, he has back to masters, one MBA and MSc, and he's also a PhD candidate. Maybe in a couple of years, we'll be having uh, a PhD holder. And he's from my interaction with him, his field of interest has been public policy of governments as it affects uh, the citizens. So I want to believe, apart from that, most importantly, he's also a pastor in RCCG. So I want to believe that his experience over the years will go a long way to help us in these discussions about what is happening in our state, Osun State, concerning governance. Because someone who is an accountant, someone that has been in and out of politics in Osun State for 35 years, we have a lot of experience that can be of use to every one of us. So I want to welcome Prince Adedire to the program tonight. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have me on board.
All right, you are welcome, sir. Thank you very much. And
Thank you very much.
thank you for making
Good
it a
day.
day. And he has even come in time. By the time I'm opening the Zoom meeting, he's already there. So thank you very much.
Yes.
God will honor you, sir.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
All right, sir. Let's go quickly to the business because of our time. Now, with your
Okay.
experience over the years, you have been
Yes.
like you have said, you have been active
Yes.
and sometimes passive about Osun politics. So,
Yes.
sir, what can you say about the governance in Osun State generally over the years since democracy returned uh, to Nigeria? 1999. We have not.
Okay.
I don't think we have a good development in Osun State over the years. What's really happening?
Yes.
What is the problem? Is it the people or the government?
Thank you thank you very much, Dr. Jimmy. Um, problem we had is both positive and negative in Osun governance since 1999. We have had the bad, we have had the good aspect of it.
Okay.
In 1999, when we returned to democracy, by the grace of God, Shebi Siakande became the governor of Osun State. And there is a particular aspect of a constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which explicitly enshrine in the Constitution that the basic principle of a good governance is embedded in number one, security of life and property, and the welfareism of a citizenry. However, I want to delve a little bit on the Baba Kande regime. I was part of a AD in 1999, which produced a Baba Kande, and I was one of the people that criticized him, even during is an open debate at Ifewaranya 2001, a Labe Odon program. Public face to face, I criticized him with a Labe Odon program. The reason why I criticize him is this: the message Chief Obafemi Awolowo has to say in his first of a courage. He said, one of the programs there, he said, three types of rebellions exist, but the worst of it is the rebellions of the stomach. That is to say, if you deny somebody the access for food security or the wages of workers or employees, that means it's a devilish idea, according to Baba Awolowo, and that is what we learned in the Baba Kande, and that is what made me to leave that party in February 18, year 2003, because I was part and parcel of SDP since 1991 when Baba Ajinde happens to be the chairman when Atakunsa local government was still one. They haven't divided us. They created Atakunsa East in 1997. But I was part and parcel of that when Amasha was there. And I was part of a PSP, People's Solidarity Party. And later, National Central Party of Nigeria in 1995, headed by Donald Tebet. And later to UNCP and AD and so on. So what the idea of Baba Kande did well in the area of infrastructure.
Network. The network.
Of them. However, even in the days I gave, workers were demanding for their right 1981 and 1982. When workers were demanding for leave. Hello.
Hello, I'm hearing you.
Hello.
I'm hearing you, sir. I'm hearing you.
Somebody was interjecting us with another call. Sorry.
Oh,
now,
okay.
during the Bola Ige regime, the workers, the labor day, they were demanding for their leave bonus. And the late Bola Ige asked us to say, he said that the use of a leave bonus was a privilege and it wasn't a right of the workers. And Baba Bola Ige did not pay the workers even their leave bonus until 1997 during one of the military regime. So because of that, I moved out from the AD and I moved to the PDP. Baba Akande did well in the area of infrastructure development, but when you denied workers because of the profession they are choosing, you laid them off from service and you started cutting the salary of the workers. You are giving them something that could not even feed a one person, let alone the whole family. And it was recorded then. A lot of people died in the process. So because of that, I moved into the PDP camp. I moved to, and that's a blemish on the part of Baba Kande, what was responsible for the failure of AD in year 2003. In year 2003. However, Prince Olagunse Oyinlola came on board. He did his own, at least to a reasonable extent. His workers friendly. He did a little bit of capital projects. Also, State University was built, and some other things within the 7.5 years that he spent on the circuit. But be that as it may, some people were still saying that the government of Oyinlola wasn't good. Then we move into the era of Ogbeni Raufu Aregbesola. He brought a lot of ideas, new initiative, and a lot of things. However, he deceived Osun State as a whole, apart from workers. He deceived them. I'm saying this publicly. The reason why I'm saying this emphatically is this is a public forum. He told them that he won't collect a dime in the of salary, but at the twilight of his administration, he ensured that all the salary allowances that were due to him were carted away in cash, not even to his own account. And then when the issue of a bailout came out, when he said he was unable to pay the salary of the workers, there was a bailout fund that was released by Buhari government. The number one tranche of the first tranche of that money of that fund was 34 billion. That money was misappropriated. I'm not saying that he's embezzled the money. He misappropriated the money. The second tranche, too, instead of him to pay the workers, that is how it fell out with the workers. And the educational policy of his regime polarized Osun State along the religious lines. And apart from that, the way he treated the workers in Osun State was very, very bad. The cooperative fund of Osun State workers was mismanaged. And everything he ensured that the workers were stagnated for 8 years without any promotion. And then when the tension was right, he gave them letter of a promotion without any financial backup. And then the issue of a career progression, he failed in that aspect. The issue of a coordinating director, it wasn't in existence in the scheme of service or public service. That nomenclature was initiated by Aregbesola. Instead of you to appoint permanent secretary, so that they will reach the peak and the stardom of their career, you now created one nomenclature stature called a coordinating director, and they will retire that coordinating director, but the perks of office that were due to the permanent secretary, they denied them all. However, those are the grievous mistakes that he made. And then the issue of a debt, he spends a lot of money by borrowing money. Please, there is no thing in borrowing money for economic growth of a society. However, when it is at extreme, it becomes a death trap for the incoming generation. And that is what happened during the time of Aregbesola. And then another person succeeded him in person of Oyetola. And then when Oyetola succeeded him, we were thinking that Oyetola will do good enough to erase that blemish, even though they were co-drivers in Osun State governance as a day, because Oyetola happens to be the chief of staff to Aregbesola. Now, be that as it may, Aregbesola continued. He didn't pay all the debt that Aregbesola owed the workers, owed the pensioners, owed even the contractors. And it becomes an albatross to Osun State government. When he was kicked out in the year 2022, even before he was kicked out in the year 2022, they had a governorship debate, and there was an empirical evidence to that effect, not even circumstantial evidence in this case. He said in that governorship debate, Oyetola, he said no governor can defray Osun State debt. That if any governorship aspirant is can fancy for votes because of them, that such a person cannot pay. But to the glory of God, when Adeleke became governor, as I'm talking to you now, he has reduced and defrayed Osun State debt to 40%.